What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love Without Borders, Season 1, Episode 3. So, in this week's episode, we had a new character introduced. This is Naeem, 39 years old, from Houston, Texas. He's a master social worker. I guess that's what MSW means in the title of a social worker. When it's MSW, I guess it's master social worker. He tells his supervisor that he has to quit his job because he's doing this experiment on finding a match. And so he's going to have to quit his job and go to another country to live. So that's when we meet Naeem. Naeem is a character, y'all. He is definitely a character. So Naeem, I'm assuming, lives with his mother. His father passed away. His parents were married for a very long time. I think like 30 or 40 years they were married. And Naeem tells us that at his father's deathbed, he had to confess all of his sins or all of his wrongdoing based on their religion. And so one of the things that his father had confessed is that he had been an adulterer and he had been cheating on his wife, Naeem's mother. And not only was he cheating on his wife, he had also fathered children outside of his marriage. And one of the things that I guess part of their tradition or the religious tradition was once the father passed away, him and his brother were supposed to cleanse his body. So Naeem tells us that him and his brother were cleansing the body of their father. And he made it a point to tell us that his father was very well endowed. Okay, he's telling us that his father was very well endowed and that it all made sense now. What the hell does that mean, Naeem? What does that even mean? Well-endowed men are cheaters? Like, what are you talking about? No matter how well endowed or how good looking or how rich a man is, if they are in a committed relationship with someone else and other people are attracted to them because of the reasons that I just listed, it doesn't mean that you have to be unfaithful and cheat on your partner. So it didn't make any sense to me, but I'm glad it made a whole lot of sense to you. After that, he tells us that he's going to be telling his mom he's going to be leaving the country to go on this, social dating experiment. And he tells his mother, and the mother is not happy at all. She does not like this idea whatsoever. I'm not exactly sure why the mother wasn't happy with this. I don't know if the mother didn't believe in this because of what it was, meeting a stranger, leaving the country. I don't know if what was bothering her was that her son was going to be leaving her, or I'm not exactly sure what the mother was upset about, but the mother was definitely upset about Naeem participating in this experiment. He explains to his mother that he's doing this in faith and he's doing this with spiritual alignment. You see, when he said that, and the way that he said that, it sounded to me calculating and manipulative. Like he's trying to convince his mother to go along with this whole experiment that he's in. And so he's trying to use his religion and his spirituality to convince his mother of why he's going to be shacked up with a stranger for the next 3 months. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, because it kind of came across as dishonest. And I don't know, it just says something about your character that you're going to use your faith and your spirituality to convince someone to agree with you because you want to go on this reality TV show and go shack up with someone that you're not going to know for 3 months. That just didn't make any sense to me, because it's not about, nothing in there was there. He didn't say anything about, I want to find a wife. It's time for me to settle down. So I'm looking for a wife. I want to have children, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, no, this is just in alignment with my faith and man, get out of here. So the expert Erica tells him that it's time to go, that they found him a match. And so he's very excited. He goes back home to let his mom know that he's going to be leaving because a match was found, and the mom was not happy. She wasn't going to pretend to be happy. She wasn't going to fake the funk. She was just like, okay, well, I'm not happy about this at all. Then she just walks away. So the expert Erica was like, wow, your mom is really upset. She is pissed off. And he was like, yeah, my mom is really, really mad. And he said that he was hoping for her to be a little bit more supportive. So right before he leaves, him and his mom pray. And then they go to the airport and he finds out that he's going to be going to Panama. And he's very excited about that because he studied Spanish in college. And when he said that, okay, when he said that he studied Spanish in college, for most of us who didn't major in Spanish and, we had to take, an elective, so we chose, not an elective, but we had to pick, a language or whatever as part of our curriculum to graduate, and we pick Spanish or whatever language that we pick. Those classes that you take, there's a couple semesters or whatever foreign language, it's not enough for you to carry on a full-blown conversation with someone who speaks that language. You learn just the bare basics, even though it could be 2 full semesters of it. You learn just the bare basics. So when he's talking about, and I took Spanish in college, I need more from you than just como se llamo and hola me llamo Naim. I'm going to need more than that from you if you want to brag about how you took Spanish in college, Naim. He also tells us that when he was out there dating, he was a real dog and that he was a cheater. He was cheating on women left and right. And so because he had gotten really, really, really sick with C19 and he was, I guess he was hospitalized and, his future was hanging in the balance and he didn't know what was going to happen to him or what his fate was going to be, he decided to, I guess, live a more straight and narrow life. And I guess he decided to give up his cheating ways. And so I guess whenever he's matched with this person in Panama, he's going to be a little bit more honest than he was in the past. So that is our boy Naim. It is what it is. Moving on to Dana and Brian. So Dana's from Montana. We saw her last week, and she has moved to Ireland to be with Brian. Brian is a farmer. He is a hen and veg farmer. So he has hens and he grows vegetables and whatever else. So Dana and Brian are getting along like 2 peas in a pod. They are actually extremely happy with one another. Everything is falling into place. There's an attraction between them. They have good conversation. She likes the fact that he is a farmer. In this episode, he took her to go see his farm, which is huge. He's got, a lot of land, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. She's from Montana, so she loves being out there in the open air, being one with nature. She absolutely loved it. So Dana and Brian are getting along really, really well. They tell us that the night before their first night together, no hanky-panky happened. All they did was kiss for a little bit, and that was it, nothing else. And then the next morning, he had brought her coffee, and he had brought her a flower in bed, and she absolutely loves how this man treats her. So Dana and Brian, they're getting along really, really well. Everything for them is so far so good. Let's travel on down to Paris. So Paris, we have Aaron and Mael. Aaron is the optometrist from... Where was he from? I think he was from North Dakota, I think. And he's the one that thought France was the country that was shaped like a boot. So he thought France was Italy, and he's an optometrist. He's an eye doctor. And I understand being bad with geography, but I don't understand how you can mistake one of the most well-known identifiable countries on a map for being France. I just don't understand that. But that was last week's episode, so let's move on from there. So is this his first day? No, I think we're still on his first day. I'm not even sure. Anyway, so they're in the apartment, which is extremely small apartment. And I think the apartment looks even smaller because Aaron himself is so tall and big. He's a big boy. He's what you call, he's like a real corn-fed North Dakota boy. He's a really big boy. Not fat, but just tall with a lot of oomph, right? So he just looks really out of place in that tiny little Paris apartment. And so he goes to the bathroom, and y'all, we can actually hear this man peeing in the bathroom. That's how small this apartment is. And Aaron had even talked about how awkward it was for him to go use the bathroom because you can hear it. Because the apartment is so tiny, like wherever you stand in that apartment, you're standing next to the bathroom. So Mael is happy with Aaron. Mael finds Aaron extremely attractive. So on Mael's part, it's things are going really really well. Now Mael acts a little bit closed off. I don't know if it's like a French thing or if it's a Mael thing. Like he doesn't smile a whole lot. He's very short and quick with his questions and his answers. Um, I don't know. But he claims that he does like Aaron, that he's very attracted to Aaron. And also Mael kind of comes across to me as someone who might be a little bit possessive a little bit, but I'm not really sure. The jury's still out on that. So on their first night, they make dinner together, and Aaron tells Mael that in America he eats a lot of fast food. So Mael was a little bit worried about that. He said, I hope he doesn't have a heart attack on me. So they make dinner together. That was really, really nice. And then when they lay down to go to bed, the bed is just a mattress on the floor because the apartment is so tiny and the rooms are so small that, I think it's like two twin mattresses side by side on the floor. And that's where they're going to be sleeping in this really tiny, tiny bedroom. This apartment makes the smallest New York apartment look like a mansion. That's how small this apartment is. So the next day they go sightseeing. They go to the Eiffel Tower, and then they go to I don't know what the bridge is called, but it's the bridge. It's a really famous bridge, I think, in Paris, where people will put love locks on the bridge. They put their initials and they lock it on the bridge. And so he wanted to do that. Mael wanted to do that with Aaron. And Aaron thought that this was a little bit too much, but he went along with it and he acted like he liked the idea. So right there, that kind of bothered me, the fact that he acted as if he enjoyed doing something that he really didn't enjoy doing. But he pretended like he liked doing that, putting the initials on the lock and then putting the lock on the bridge. Now, I felt like that Mael was probably moving a little bit too fast when he presented that lock because they just met. There is no love between them. So why would you put a love lock? And I understand there's that anticipation of love and of y'all ending up together happily ever after. But his first day or his second day in Paris, Mael, that was a little bit too much. So Aaron was uncomfortable with that. Aaron says that he does not have romantic feelings with Mael right now, so everything is moving a little bit too fast for Aaron. I don't see an attraction on Aaron's part towards Mael. I really don't see it. I think Aaron is probably more interested in men who are a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, maybe movie star good looks, because I think he said that his type is like a Hemsworth brother, that Nordic look, blonde, blue eyes, very muscular, broad shoulders. That's what Aaron is into. And Mael is not that. Mael is short, very small in stature, olive complected, dark hair. So I don't think that this is Aaron's type, but we'll see how it goes. There's a reason why they were matched, right? Moving on to Gerline and Sharayas. So Gerline and Sharayas, they're living with Sharayas' family, and Gerline does not like that at all. This is Dubai. We're in Dubai now. So Gerline and Sharayas have a conversation, and they've decided that they're going to get their own place. So now Sharayas has to break this news to his parents, which he does. And you can tell that his parents were not exactly pleased with this, but what can they do? He's a grown man. So he's in agreement with getting a place just for him and Gerline. Later on, they go to Sharayas' cousin's house for like a get together or like a very small intimate party. And there's a lot of drinking involved. And there's a scene where Gerline is talking to one of Sharayas' friends, I think, and she's telling him that how disappointed she was to find out that Sharayas was not living by himself, that he was living with his entire family. She was disappointed in that because she really wanted them to be alone, and that she's this fiercely independent woman and doesn't want to live with a whole family. And she also said that she's a woman who likes to have a lot of control. So to me, that was a red flag because, girl, what are you talking about? You want to have a lot of control. That's not going to work. And we saw a tiny bit of that a little bit later on. So after they were done sitting outside, they wanted to go back inside the house. So everybody gets up from the pool area to go back inside the house. they left their mess there, right? Gerline proceeds to clean up after herself. So she starts picking up dirty plates and trash and whatever else, and she wants to clean up the area. And so everybody's telling her, Shareas, the owner of the home, everybody's telling her, girl, put that down. Don't worry about it. We have help. We have servants here that are going to do all of that. So don't worry about it. And she was like, no, 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 no. I can't just leave all this mess here. I got to clean up after myself. I'm an independent woman. I'm very independent. I take care of myself and I got to clean up after myself. I don't know what being independent has to do with cleaning up after yourself, but whatevs. So she's insisting on cleaning up, and she's taking plates and cups and dirty napkins and all this other stuff. And Shareas even offers to help her. Like, he offers to like take some of the load off of her and walk it to the kitchen. And she fiercely, adamantly was like, no, 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 stop. I got it. I got it. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't he help you take the dishes into the damn kitchen? I don't understand why that was like a big deal to her. I don't know if this woman was drunk or what was going on. I don't understand why she was like so offended that he was trying to help her clean up. And so everybody in the house was like whispering, like, what is she doing? And why is she picking up? We have servants for that. And I don't know if it was like an elitist type of thing for them to say that, or if it was just this understanding in that, in that culture or in that country that this is what the servants do, and this is their job, and don't get in the way of their job because maybe they do things a certain way, or I don't know what. But everybody was like, what is she doing? Doesn't she understand that we have protocol here, and you're not supposed to do that, and you're supposed to let them do their job? But it was like a really, really big deal. And I think that, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So, I mean, Gerline, you should have just followed protocol instead of making this huge scene and acting like you weren't willing to adapt to the local rules or the way of that particular country, town, I don't know. So she should have just kind of sat that one out and been like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I was just trying to help. And then they would have explained to her why things are done the way they're done. But she didn't want to listen. She wanted to take over, and everybody was talking about her. So now let's move on to Ghana, West Africa. So we have Phil and Carmen. So Carmen prepares a traditional Ghanaian meal for him, which he loved. He said it was delicious. And he explains to her that he had been celibate for 4 months. Now, let me say this about Phil and Carmen. There is chemistry between Phil and Carmen. There is definitely an attraction there. So he's telling her that he has been celibate for the past 4 months because he just wanted to go through like a really thorough cleansing of his spirit, soul, body, whatever. So, he became celibate. He quit going out. He quit drinking. He quit smoking, all that stuff. And so Carmen tells him that, well, she likes going out and she's going to continue to go out and have fun with or without him. That's just how it's going to be. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the reason why I don't believe in these shows, that these people are on these shows to find love. These people are on these shows just for popularity. It's like an acting gig to them. Just to get clicks and views and followers. That's because, girl, if you're really about a relationship and your dude is telling you, look, I don't live that lifestyle anymore of clubbing. Even if you do still have the desire and you still intend on going out, I just didn't think it was right for her to just be like, well, I'm still going to go out and do my thing with or without you. It's kind of like y'all are supposed to be in this together. Y'all could have had a conversation about that. You could have asked him, well, how do you feel if I still want to go out with my friends? And then see how he takes it, because you're not by yourself anymore. You're in a partnership. But moving on. So they go to a hotel the next day to go swim in the swimming pool and hang out and stuff. So of course, when they get into their bathing suits, they're both instantly like, the attraction between one another intensifies even more. She likes his body. He loves her body. He says that she is absolutely beautiful. She is thick in all the right places. He is seriously tempted. And so they do a lot of flirtation, a lot of chemistry between them. And, yeah, she was like, oh, so you want to give me babies? Because the attraction between them was like on 100. And I don't know how much longer this boy is going to stay celibate. Yeah. So that was a cute little scene. And that is the end of my review. I think I've covered all my couples here, including Naeem. Yeah, I think I did. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please do not forget to rate the video if you like this content. Go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later.